Hello, it's Sonic Electro. And to celebrate the recent release of Toy Story 4, I'll be shining a light on 3 LEGO Pixar sets, all made under the Juniors Now 4 Plus line, and are all the smallest of each line. Right then, let's begin with the first set, which is Full Cast 3, and it is Lightning McQueen Speed Launcher from 2017. It was so cool for that theme to return. And here is the entire set. You get Lightning McQueen, of course, and a build for the launcher. The actual launcher itself is a really good looking build that is easy to make thanks to the small number of pieces used, and the pieces themselves are fairly large. I like the colour scheme of it, like the grey, dark grey nicely represents tarmac, and the yellow colouring of the tracks and the barricades really makes it pop. I also think it occupies a superb racing aesthetic, especially with this printed checkered starting line on the ramp, and this leaderboard piece, which is kind of awkwardly placed because no one would really be able to see it clearly. It shows the top 3 spots, Lightning McQueen's in first place and his rival Jack the Storm is just catching up with him. There are 2 starting lights and grille details on the top and bottom. At the back we have a push mechanism, which I'll demonstrate in a second, but it has a red button which you press down on, and it is stopped by a white fence just at the back. So the way in which this works is that you take Lightning McQueen and park him up to the launcher just like so. Then when he's all set up, you press down on the red button and you can launch him. And that is a really fun and mostly working feature, which I think best works with your thumb because that's how he travels the furthest. And I'm sure this will work with any car of a similar size. So in all, I think this is a really fun and effective launching feature. Lightning looks fabulous and very much resembles the older LEGO models, even down to all the detail being printed on. He's built using a reusable one-piece chassis, so he's very easy to make. At the front, I adore his calm and collected smile, and the Rusty's logo and side stickers are featured on his hood. On the sides, the flaming effect just about the exhaust are super awesome, and his signature number 95 is featured, as well as on the top. The windows are also very nicely reflective. Rusty's is printed onto a spoiler, and around the back there are rear lights, though a bumper could be added to the bottom. In all, I think that this LEGO Lightning remains truly faithful to the character's iconic design. Next, coming in with the blast is a set from the long-awaited sequel, Incredibles 2, and that is Elastigirl's Rooftop Pursuit from 2018, which is when the film came out, 14 years after the first. And here's everything included. You get 2 minifigs, Elastigirl and the villain screensaver, a grey motorbike, a blue helicopter, and part of the rooftop scene. The rooftop is a decent diorama build, linking to the part in the movie where Elastigirl is tracing the location of screensaver, and it is quite easy to build thanks to the small number of pieces used. Now I think there's a substantial amount of space for minifigures to be displayed on here, for instance gripping onto the greebling just like Elastigirl did in the movie, or standing on the ground, from looking out upon, or on a rooftop chase. Other things I like about this build are the sparking effect emulating from this large white satellite dish, how the greebling actually continues as a print onto this nicely printed Elastigirl billboard topped with 2 yellow headlights, this round movable air conditioning unit in the middle, and the use of yellow tiles to create the helipad so it's very clear where to actually land the helicopter included. Just like so. Speaking of which, the helicopter included doesn't look the most professional, but is still probably the coolest Juniors helicopter they've made, with this awesome primary dark blue colour scheme. The front has a rounded windshield which you can open up, and you can see the screensaver in front so you can pilot the helicopter just like he had figuratively done in the movie. And you can see the front has a printed control panel. The side has some nice grille details and a curved roof, and the top has some black propellers, and probably the most interesting element out of the whole helicopter, this spring green dish with a nice mesmerizing pattern that looks pretty cool when you do spin it. The back has a red light and a back tail, and this white door which you can open up. And there's enough room to store some things, to say the screensaver's laptop. So in the end, this is pretty simple but pretty effective getaway vehicle for the screensaver. Nothing more could be said about this Elastigirl figure except she is, with pun intended, incredible. Her iconic red and black suit is just excellent here, and her barb hairpiece, which is a hard plastic, is superbly done with it being swept to one side. Of course, the main draw to the figure are its long arms that can be adjusted, just like Miss Marvel, and I think it's a brilliant way to demonstrate her powers. Her main face shows her smiling and looking satisfied, and she has another one expressing a confident smirk. She also has an accessory of a tracking device to help her find. Screenslaver. It is definitely sweet that the main villain Screenslaver is included in the set, and this figure, despite having a relatively simple design, greatly appears both sinister and creepy with the pairing of sand blue and dark colours. The mask is fantastic with its grilled mouthpiece and large bulbous yellow eyes, and around the back, just like the front, there's nice creasing detail and part of his stripped mask. Taking off the mask, you get to see his true identity, which may be a spoiler if you haven't seen the movie, so I'm going to take it off, and yes, that is supposed to be Winston Dever. Of course, if you have seen the movie, you know it's actually his sister who controls the character, so this isn't an inaccurate detail, but this face actually captures him really well there. The figure also comes with a standard black laptop accessory. Finally, here's a set from the movie to close the Toy Story, Toy Story 4, Woody and Darcy. Oh, it's so good to see these two OG characters together. Here's the whole set. You get a minifigure of Woody, a few army men, 6 building blocks, and a build for RC. Now this RC is just so adorable. It's quite different from the original 2009 version and a bit smaller, but it still encompasses the same bright lime green and blue colour scheme. You can see he has 4 large wheels with red rims and is built using the standard Junior's black chassis piece. Unfortunately, unlike the original, he doesn't have a pullback motor, so you can't pull him back, but it's okay. At the front he has 2 largely printed eyes with a blue bumper. There's some nice blue splash printing on this green hood with black at the tip. There's a small space so that you can seat Woody in, just like so, very comfortably. It gets quite angular around the back, and there's some curved panelling on either side, so when you grip him, you can grip him like this, and it's quite comfortable to drive and play around with. The antenna installed at the back is quite awkwardly coloured, but it's the same as the remote control. There's some more nice blue splash printing on the top of the spoiler with some pointed ends, and at the back it's fairly plain and quite flat. So in all, I think this is definitely a basic design for RC, but it gets the job done and very much looks like him. With these 6 colour-topped building blocks included, which I kind of think is a bit meta, the idea is that you stack them up in a wall and you can have RC ram into them. You could also take the army men and crash into them. And how about if the launcher works? Awesome! So yeah, I think there's a bit of fun to be had from smashing into all the blocks. Now Woody is very different from last time, as he doesn't have a moulded head or the long arms and legs, but I still think that this new one looks terrific. His dual moulded hat looks marvellous with his hair sticking out, his bright yellow and cow-coloured sheriff outfit with badge is pretty perfect, and it's cool that he has dual moulded boots. His face shows a nice smile, and he has an alternate face that looks more joyous. You can also see more nice details printed onto his back, even including his pull string. As one nitpick, I just wish he had checkered red printing on his arms for extra detail, but besides that, as a new LEGO Woody that looks more like a LEGO minifig, I don't think this could be any better. Woody also comes with a remote control for RC, which nicely colour matches him. 3 army men are included, and they're the standard microfig statue, so are fittingly sized against the other toys in the wave. You technically get 4 as a spare one is included. And that's all 3 small sets. As a whole, I think they're excellent sets for what theme they're based around, and while they don't represent the whole line, well, I'll just say that it was truly great to see the Cars and Toy Story line return, and it was no doubt welcome to receive incredible sets for the first time. There may not have been a lot, but at least they did get a video game, and all 3 characters here are actually playable in it. In the end, I don't mind these being made under the Juniors line because I think they're best made for kids, but there are elements adults will like, and that's the one thing I could say about Pixar films in general. They're some of my favourite types of movies, so I'm looking forward to seeing more in the future. And that's the end of my look at 3 Pixar sets.